Today, I'm stoked to share my full review of this Teneqa 700 down sleeping bag from Cumulus. This has got to be one of the best value sleeping bags that I have ever used. Why, you might ask? Well, let's dig into it. Now, this bag is designed from the ground up to be a cold weather winter sleeping bag. It's got all of the design aspects that make it perform in cold weather settings. Now, some of the things you've got going on here are a wider girth that allows for you to use supplemental insulation as necessary to take it down to lower temperatures. Put a down jacket on, put a liner inside of the bag, or if you've got gear that needs to stay warm overnight, you've got some space in the bag for you to do that without compressing the down in the bag. The 700 of this bag defines 700 grams of 850 fill power down. So this is gonna be at a comfort rating of 14 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Fahrenheit for your limit rating. So this will absolutely keep you warm down to those pretty cold temperatures that most of us are not going to want to go much below 0 degrees anyway when we're out on a backpacking trip. You've got a foot box that is also a bit larger as well for your feet to move around. You've got a nice shark fin shaped foot box that provides the ability for your toes to splay out the way they need to and not put pressure on it, as well as not compress the down in the bag. You've got a hood here that is also shaped really nice to cradle around your head and keep everything nice and tucked in and warm, with a draft collar that has a cord in it so you can cinch that down and really lock in that warm air around your body. And then also around your face is a second cord to just close things up a bit more. You have a double draft tube on the zipper track for you to really lock in that warm air and not have any drafts coming through the zipper. The zipper is a number 5 YKK zipper that goes all the way down the length of the bag here and has one of those plow style anti-snag zipper pulls that's really nice for getting into the bag and not having to fiddle around with the zipper as you're getting in and out. The fabric used on the bag is a Pertex Quantum fabric that is really buttery soft and nice on your skin. It's not sticky. It is just a really nice feel for a sleeping bag. Now, price-wise, this is where the value of this sleeping bag really comes into play. It's just over $400 USD for the base sleeping bag that you've got here. Now, you could customize this, which is gonna change the price quite a bit, but at $400 to have a really high performance cold weather sleeping bag is an amazing price for you to pay for this. So let's talk about my experience with it in the field. Now, my real world experience with this sleeping bag comes from 20 or so nights out in the field, putting it through all sorts of weather conditions and temperatures to really put it to the test and see, is this an enjoyable sleeping bag to use and does it have any problems with it? And I can safely say that from all of the nights that I have used this, it's really comfortable. It's a very enjoyable sleeping bag to use. And the lowest temperature that I've had this at is 7 degrees Fahrenheit, which you're probably thinking, oh, it's not the coldest temperature out there, Devin. But keep in mind, this bag is designed to have a comfort rating of 14 degrees Fahrenheit and a limit rating at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. 700 grams of insulation in here. So it's not designed to be a super like polar vortex type of sleeping bag. It's meant to just keep you warm in what I would consider pretty cold conditions for most people that are going out on a winter backpacking or camping trip. Now, the performance of this has been fantastic. On those really cold nights that I've been out in it, it's also been 85 or so percent humidity, and that was some cold temperatures to be in. And this thing seriously kept me super warm. I was very comfortable, didn't have any cold spots, and I'm a pretty cold sleeper to begin with, so I did have a mid layer on, thermal bottoms, and some down booties, and I still slept very, very comfortable in this bag. So what are the design aspects of this bag that make it perform so well in cold weather settings? You've got 42 baffles that make up the construction of this bag. But what's key is the baffles are using a V-shaped design as opposed to a standard box baffle that you might see from a lot of sleeping bags out there on the market. What that V-shaped baffle provides is the ability for you to offset where those stitch lines are so that you don't have penetration of cold through those stitch lines to the inner layer of the sleeping bag. It makes it possible for the down to also loft up a lot better and not migrate so much within the bag or the down chambers, and it just makes it a warmer sleeping experience because of that. But then something really smart that they've done on the bag is they've added 2 long baffles along the length of the bag here on the side, which that provides the ability for the down on top to stay in place on top and not migrate down to the side of the bag, but it also makes it possible for that down on the side to just stay put and provide all of that protection on the side of the sleeping bag. I can genuinely say that being in cold temperatures, rolling from side to side and the bag moving with me, those side baffles do actually make a difference in the performance of the bag as opposed to your baffle coming all the way down to the side of the sleeping bag and you're down migrating and such from how long that baffle is. Now I've put the camera down lower to try to show you just how much loft this bag has. When those V chambers allow for the loft of the down to really come up, this makes it possible for you to sleep super warm and you don't get really any cold spots because of that. A few other design features here include, again, a full length zipper that makes it really easy for you to get in and out of the sleeping bag. You've also got independently filled bottom and top layers here, which is important because then you're not having any of the down from the top migrating to the bottom of the sleeping bag, and then when you're laying on it compressing, making the bag sleep colder. It's really smart design that way. Then you've also got a little mesh pocket on the inside of the bag here that gives you the ability to store small gear items that you want to not be floating around, moving around in the bag to keep warm as well. So a standout thing for me with Cumulus is the fact that they provide the ability for you to customize a lot of things with many of their sleeping bags. With the Teneqa, you can add and change several different aspects to this bag to make it more personalized to you. You can do all sorts of things like change the fabric type. You can change the zipper length. You can change the amount of down insulation that is in here, as well as where the down is placed. If you want more on top and less on the bottom, you can also put Quantum Pro fabrics at the foot box and the head of this to have more waterproof. You can do 850 fill power hydrophobic down inside of it instead of just standard down. A lot of customization options here. And what I actually did with this is I added 50 grams more of insulation to this bag here, which took the comfort rating from 14 degrees Fahrenheit to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So you don't want to overfill a sleeping bag so much that it's not able to loft appropriately. So the 700 will give you up to 770 grams of fill inside of the bag. Now all of these customizations are going to come at some kind of additional cost, but it allows for you to really personalize this and make it exactly what you need. What are the cons that I have with this bag? To be honest, my friends, I don't really have much negative to speak to on this bag, other than the fact that because it is a cold weather designed bag, it's not really going to make sense for me to use in shoulder seasons as much because it does sleep really warm and it is a bit more bulk than a lot of other bags out there just because it's a bigger sleeping bag than other bags that I have access to. That's really not a con or a big negative. It's designed for cold weather use. It's a winter bag. And honestly, I love it. I have been so impressed with the performance of it, the value that you get from this. I've spent a lot of time in it. I've slept many nights in it, and this is a great, great value in a sleeping bag. that's the Teneqa 700. So thanks for watching today, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Check out my Patreon link down in the description as well. We'd love for you to be a patron of the channel. Hope you guys have an awesome day. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.